Why women pull away once they know you'll always be there. There is something a lot of men don't understand about attraction. It is not always about how good you are. It is not always about how confident you act. And it is not always about how much effort you give. Sometimes it is about one simple thing: how available you are perceived to be. Because the moment someone feels like you will always be there, something interesting can happen. Their behavior starts to change. Not overnight, not suddenly, but slowly, subtly, almost in a way you might not notice at first. At the beginning, everything feels normal. She talks to you. She replies. She shows interest. She gives you attention. And because you like her, you stay consistent. You stay available. You stay present. You stay easy to reach. But over time, something shifts. She starts pulling back. Replies get slower. Energy becomes inconsistent. She becomes less proactive. And you're left confused. Because in your mind, nothing has changed. You're still the same person. Still showing up. Still being nice. Still being consistent. So why is she pulling away? The answer is not as simple as most men think. And it has nothing to do with you being not enough. It has to do with how certainty affects human interest. So let's break it down properly. 1. Certainty kills curiosity. At the start, there is curiosity. She is not fully sure about you yet. So she engages. She explores. She responds with energy. She pays attention because there is still something to figure out. But when you become too available for too long, that uncertainty disappears. And when uncertainty disappears, curiosity often reduces because there is nothing left to discover. She already knows. You will reply. You will be there. You are not going anywhere. And when the brain fully predicts someone's behavior, it naturally reduces excitement. Not because you did something wrong, but because predictability lowers emotional tension. And emotional tension is a big part of attraction in the early stages. 2. You stop being a question in her mind. Attraction is not only about presence. It is also about mental space. At the beginning, she might think about you more often. She wonders how you feel. She wonders what you are doing. She wonders where things are going. There is some uncertainty. But when you become too consistent and too available, you stop being a question. You become an answer. And answers don't create curiosity. Questions do. So over time, she stops thinking about you as much. Not because you became worse, but because there is no longer mental tension around you. Everything feels figured out. And when something feels figured out, people naturally invest less emotional energy into it. 3. She feels no emotional risk of losing you. This is a big one. When someone knows you will always be there, they stop feeling urgency. Because urgency only exists when loss feels possible. If she knows, you will reply no matter what. You will not walk away. You will always stay available. Then there is no emotional pressure to prioritize the connection. She can come and go freely. She can reply when she wants. She can delay when she wants. She can step back and return anytime. And nothing changes. So slowly, her effort decreases. Not because she dislikes you, but because nothing is at risk for her. And human beings naturally prioritize what feels like it can be lost. 4. Your availability starts feeling like assumed access. This is where things shift. At first, availability feels attractive. It feels like kindness. It feels like interest. It feels like effort. But over time, constant availability can turn into something else. It becomes expected, not appreciated. And when something becomes expected, people stop valuing it the same way. She no longer feels she has to earn your attention. She already has it. So she no longer feels the same motivation to reach out or invest energy. Because in her mind, the connection is already there. Nothing needs to be maintained. Nothing needs to be worked for. And without effort on both sides, emotional balance starts to disappear. 5. She starts matching your energy, not leading it. Another subtle shift happens here. Instead of leading the interaction, she begins to respond only when you lead it. You text first. She replies. You ask questions. She answers. You initiate plans. She reacts. And over time, she no longer contributes the same level of initiative. Not because she is intentionally playing games, but because the dynamic has already been set. You became the driver, and she became the passenger. And once that role is established, it rarely changes unless something disrupts the pattern. 6. You are giving comfort without challenge. This is very important. Comfort is good, but too much comfort without emotional challenge can reduce attraction in early stages. If everything is always available, always smooth, always easy, there is no emotional contrast. No tensión, no anticipación, no sense of I might lose this. And without that emotional contrast, the connection can start to feel flat. Not bad, just flat. And flat connections rarely create strong emotional pull. 7. She doesn't feel the need to chase anymore. At the beginning, there may have been small moments of pursuit. She might have replied quickly. She might have shown excitement. She might have initiated conversations sometimes. But when she realizes you will always be there, that chasing behavior often disappears. Not because she lost all interest, but because chasing is no longer necessary. There is no gap, no distance, no uncertainty. And without those elements, pursuit naturally fades. Why men get confused here? Because from your perspective, nothing feels wrong. You're still the same. You are still consistent. You're still interested. So you assume the situation should remain the same. But attraction doesn't respond to consistency alone. It responds to emotional dynamics. And when dynamics change, behavior changes. Even if your intentions don't. The biggest mistake men make, when they notice her pulling away, they try to fix it by giving more. More attention, more messages, more availability, more reassurance. But this often does the opposite of what they expect, because it removes even more uncertainty. And when uncertainty drops even further, interest can drop with it. What you should understand, this is not about becoming cold. It is not about ignoring someone. And it is not about playing games. It is about balance. Because healthy attraction usually has space. Space creates curiosity. Space creates appreciation. Space creates effort from both sides. Without space, one person slowly becomes the entire emotional provider, while the other becomes passive. And that is where imbalance begins. If there is one thing to take from this video, it is this. Being available is not the problem. But being always available without balance can slowly change how you are perceived. Because when someone knows you will never move away, they stop feeling the need to move toward you. Real interest doesn't just come from presence. It comes from effort, curiosity, and emotional investment from both sides. And when those things fade, what you're left with is not confusion. It is information. And that information tells you everything you need to know. Click the subscribe button, like, share, and follow for more.